Let's take a look at what's going on with Dogecoin today, guys. All right, so Dogecoin looks like it's doing pretty good right now. It's at around that .185 level, my last target. And let's just take a look at the technical analysis real quick. So we have this bottom right here, bottom right here, bottom right here. We have a top resistance and support. Basically, we were bouncing in between these two trend lines, something like that. And right here, it looks like we broke to the upside of that channel pattern that we were in. We also broke this resistance on the daily time frame, but we'll get to that in a second. So we had this channel pattern. We came down, hit the bottom, and then got a bounce to the upside. And like I said, we broke that top resistance right here. Looks pretty good for Dogecoin. The only thing I'm kind of concerned about is the weekly time frame, but we'll get to that in a second. I'm on the 4-hour time frame. Let's switch over to the 1 hour and take a look at the trends that we're watching right now. Let's go ahead and delete this channel pattern for right now. Not really too worried about that. I mean, I guess technically what you can do is target from the top to the bottom of the channel and drag this to the breakout. I don't know. The other thing I'm kind of looking at is the volume too. We had a pretty nice green candle right here, but ever since then the volume's kind of been declining again. So I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical on it, but we did break the resistance right here, and then we also broke this resistance right there on the daily. Um, so what was I gonna say? Okay, yeah, let's take a look at the trends though. So we have, oh yeah, sorry, we were looking at the channel pattern. Technically, we could drag from the top to the bottom of this channel, drag that to the breakout, and we're looking at a target of approximately .19602 on as a target for this channel pattern. But like I said, the volume's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of declining right now, so I'm a little skeptical on this target. I think if we break that 185 moving up, then we can probably start looking at the next Fibonacci retracement level going to the upside at .248. But yeah, we're kind of stuck at this area right here. We're having a little bit of resistance at 1.185 around that Fibonacci retracement level. If you're new to the channel or new to looking at charts, the way I got these levels are the Fibonacci retracement levels. Whoops. Is we had a run up right here. We started having trouble going to the upside in this area, kind of topped out a little bit. So what I did is I got the Fibonacci retracement tool over here, jug from the bottom of the run to the top of the run, and that gives me those levels that I watch that I pretty much mention in every one of my videos. But yeah, I like these levels because they act as resistance and support sometimes. Like right now, we're kind of getting a little bit of resistance on that .185. If we could break through it, then I'm going to get more confident on the next Fibonacci retracement levels going to the upside. Once we come into contact with one of them, we're going to have to look for resistance and see if we start heading down or if we break through it and continue to the next one. If we start seeing resistance coming down, maybe the next one will hold support, something like that. Like maybe we do something like this, come down, hold support, bounce. Ideally, what we want to do is go like this forever. You know what I mean? Just so that way we can know this is the top and this is the bottom or something like that. Anyways. But we also have this falling wedge pattern that I've been talking about for a long time. It does look like we're breaking that resistance. Let's talk about that after we get into this 1 hour though. Okay, so let's go back to the trends. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place today. I haven't made a video in a while, so kind of trying to catch you guys up. All right, so on the 1 hour time frame, let's zoom in. We have support right here, giving us this trend line like this. And then we have support, like the trend is getting steeper. So these are the lines that we're looking at. If we break them, then the trend might be over and we might not over, the trend might be changing direction anyways, or we might be going sideways. Like I said, at that 185 level, or it's a little bit even lower than that. I think .18325 is the actual Fibonacci retracement level. I went with .185 back here because it was just a nice even number pretty much. So like I was saying, we have support, support, support. If we break this trend line going to the downside, the next line that we'll be looking at is this support, support, trend line right here. Maybe we'll get a bounce on there. If we break that one going to the downside, then we might be going further down. But we also have this support down here. Support, support, support. Basically, if we break the supports, we're looking at the next one going to the downside. But we haven't broken that trend line yet. We're still on this trend line, and hopefully we can continue to bounce on it and bounce even higher. Like I said, if we could break out of this level right here, or like break 185, break, hold support on this Fibonacci retracement level, boom, 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 and then start to move up, then we could start getting more bullish and maybe shoot for this level. And like I said, that falling wedge has been broken right here, at least going sideways. The other thing that I was looking at is, let's see, there was another trend. It was something like this, I believe. Another sharper trend. Sorry, it's all over the place. Let's go ahead and delete this, delete this, delete this. So we had another trend where it was like, so we had this one getting steeper. Actually, it would probably be something like this, sorry. It was something like this. And then we started getting even steeper than that. Boom. Support, support, giving me that trend line. But we broke that going sideways pretty much, or we broke it going down. Now we're kind of going sideways, it seems like. And when we break trends, sometimes instead of just looking at the next trend going to the downside, I like looking at the bottom and then the top and seeing drawing lines that we need to break on those areas. So we pretty much broke that trend, right? So let's go ahead and get rid of that. But since we broke that trend, let's look at the top, and then let's look at the bottom, something like this. And we came down, so we came up, got resistance, came down, found support on that level, came up, got resistance on that level, came down, got support on that level, and now we're bouncing to the upside again. Basically, these lines are getting reinforced right now with this resistance, and support, excuse me. So we broke this trend, right? But we're going sideways now. Confirmation, these lines are used as confirmation. So if we break this going to the downside, then that's more confirming that we're breaking the trend. Like this might have been the first signal. If we break this one going down, that's the second signal that we're going to the downside. We broke this trend, that might have been the first signal, but we're going sideways. If we break up, then that kind of negates this trend break right there. So yeah, let's see what happens. That's why I like using like a confirmation. So we're going sideways. If we break to the upside, then we don't have to worry about us breaking that trend right there. Sometimes what happens is you'll form there's a pattern called a flagpole pattern, a flag pattern, and if it goes up like this and then starts going sideways, consolidation, going, a top and a bottom like I was telling you, then it's a continuation pattern if we break to the upside, and then you can target from the top to the bottom of the run or the pole pattern. This isn't a perfect flagpole pattern, but something like that, and then drag that to the breakout if we break to the upside, which would take us around .2039, somewhere around there. It does look like we're having a little bit of trouble though. Like I was saying, the volume is kind of declining right here. Like we're not getting more green volume pushing us to the upside. So we're going to have to wait and see. Are we going to break through this top right here and continue to head up? Or are we going to break this trend line, boom, and then break the bottom, boom, and then kind of head back to this one, maybe even break that one and continue to head down? I don't know. That might have been the run, and then we might be coming back down for that channel pattern and or even lower. I'm not 100% right now. So I do, full disclosure, I do have a limit order at 10 cents still, just to be safe. It's not that big because I've already have a position right here at .185 that I had the target on for a while already. It does look like the markets are getting a bounce though, so that's kind of a good thing. And what we've all been waiting for is the falling wedge breakout. Let's go ahead and delete all this smaller time frame stuff just so we can get a clear picture at what's happening on the bigger time frame. So those are some of the lines that I was looking at on the smaller time frame, but this is one of the bigger things that I've been looking at for a while now on the bigger time frame, and this is what we've been waiting for, guys. So we had resistance, 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 support, 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 basically giving us these two trend lines. These were like wicks. I don't know. But anyways, we have a falling wedge pattern. And I've been saying this is actually a bullish pattern. We just need to break that resistance right here. We had this resistance, and all we have to do is break it going to the upside, and then we can start targeting either the next Fibonacci retracement levels going to the upside. Technically, in a falling wedge pattern, the target is the top of the pattern, so that would be around 394, which is this top Fibonacci retracement level. Let's see what happens though. Like I've been saying this video, the volume is still declining. What we want to see is the volume start picking up and breaking that kind of trend of low volume. Like right here, we got a nice little green pop, but kind of fizzled out and started going down. Looks like we got I don't know, we're getting green candles, but they're not like big ones. So I'm not sure. We are breaking this, and the thing that I've been talking about on this channel for the last couple videos is I've been referring to last year's falling wedge pattern, where we're basically doing the same thing. We had resistance, we had support, falling channel, but once we broke that falling channel over here, let's zoom in a little bit. We didn't just shoot straight up. I mean, we kind of did, but not like, it took a while for us in this area. We kind of went sideways for a little bit. Like we did break that resistance and got a nice little run, and then got rejected and started heading down. But after that, we kind of started going up. Basically what I'm saying is after we break the resistance, we might have to go sideways for a little bit before we actually start picking up steam. So same with this one. We broke the resistance, but are we going to have to go sideways for a while? Or are we going to break through this 185, get a nice little pop? Maybe we'll come back down, go sideways, and then really start heading back to the upside. But time will tell on that kind of thing. Like I said, my last position that I was talking about was 185. When we came down, when we broke this one going to the downside, I started looking at 185. We came down, hit that target once, came up around 20-some%. Then got rejected and started heading down, hit that level again, came up around, I think it was like 18%, then came back down, broke through it. That's when when we broke through it, that's when I started looking at 10 cents. And that's why recently I put in a limit order at 10 cents. Right now that we're moving to the upside, I'm getting less confident on that 10 cents limit order though. So we'll have to wait and see. And I'm not really worried about this one. This is just like a smaller order anyways. Like I said, I think we were here for a while, so I think I probably put like, I doubled down on this position. We came down, hit it, came down again, and I think I like doubled down maybe somewhere around here or something like that. So yeah, looking at 10 cents as a limit order, but at the same time I have a position right here, and all these yellow lines are basically where I have positions, because I've been dollar cost averaging on the way down. Once we started having trouble over here, this is the trend that I was watching, something like that anyways. Once we broke that trend, actually that's not perfect, let's move this like to the upside a little bit, because it was more, once we broke this trend right here, that's when I took profits, something like that. Then these yellow lines are where I've been dollar cost averaging in, and like I said, they act as support and resistance. So like we came down, found support right there, got a bounce up, got resistance right there, found support, resistance, and then we started kind of heading down. But in this area was some pretty good trading action, because we were using those Fibonacci retracement levels as targets, and then we'd use them like targets going to the upside for profit taking, and then targets going to the downside for buying opportunities. And same with down here. So we went boom, 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 boom. This was the last one, the .185 level. We're approaching that .185 level right now. Let's see if we can break through it and start heading to the next one, so we can target this one for either profit taking, or if we break through it, we could target the next one. That's why I was saying earlier that if we break through here, we're going to want to watch this level at .248 and see what happens. Are we going to start getting resistance and start heading down then and breaking the trend if we form that, if we continue to head up? Or are we going to break through it and start looking at the next one, and so on and so forth? You know what I mean? We'll look at that trend, and if it starts breaking it, once we hit that target, then we'll start using this one as a buying opportunity, etc., etc. So when we're going up, profit taking target. When we're going down, limit order potential. And like I said, sometimes we break through it, and technically, like I was also talking about, is this falling wedge pattern. We broke this going to the upside, so technically the target would be at the top of the falling wedge. Sometimes it doesn't make it that far though. Sometimes it'll go like halfway, and then that's it, you know what I mean? Boom, and then kind of go back down. But yeah, in general I do think that breaking this trend line right here, this resistance, is a good sign. And let's take a look at the daily 9 moving average, because that was the last thing that I was talking about on my last video, I believe. Is we were kind of hanging out. Okay, so the 9 moving average is this blue line right here, something like that. We were kind of like bouncing in between it right here, but I was saying that it looks like we're kind of holding support on that 9 moving average right there. And if you check it out right here, we had this green candle because we were below it. We had this green candle. We broke above the 9 moving average right here. Boom, closed that candle above it. The next candle, look what happened. We found support on that 9 moving average. We had support right here, and we got a bounce to the upside, got that nice green candle. Basically, if we're above the 9 moving average, then we're in a better position than if we are below it. Because when we're below it, I talk about this on every one of my videos probably, but when we're below it, like right here, we come up to it and get resistance on it. It's like a resistance that kind of holds us down, and then it also pushes us down. But when we're above it, when we break above it, that could potentially be a buying opportunity, and sometimes we hold support on it and break to the upside. So this could be, in my opinion, being above the 9 moving average like we are right now, especially how we broke above it this candle, stayed above it on this candle, which was kind of like a confirmation. Now we're clearly above it. This is good, in my opinion, on the daily time frame, let's say, though, because we haven't gotten to the weekly time frame, which is the thing that makes me a little bit skeptical about all of this bullish, like, momentum and I forget what it's called. Anyways, is the weekly time frame. Let's take a look at the weekly time frame real quick, because same strategy, idea, whatever you want to call it. We have the 9 moving average on the weekly time frame right here, and check it out. Right here, we broke above that weekly 9 moving average, or actually it was over here, we broke above it, and ever since that we're getting support in it, and it pushed us up. But right here we broke below it, and ever since then we're coming up to it, that blue line right here, and it was acting as resistance. It was basically holding us down, and it actually started pushing us down. So like I just talked about on the daily time frame, we have the 9 moving average. If we're below the 9 moving average, that's a not so great position, and this is why I'm kind of skeptical, because what I want to see us do is break above that 9 moving average. Then we can start really getting more bullish. Then we can really start targeting the top of that falling wedge, and check out where like the bodies kind of land on the falling wedge is on the weekly time frame anyways, is the top of that falling wedge pattern. So let's see what happens. And it's not impossible that we come up to this level and break through it. Like if we start breaking this level, the next spot that I'd want to look at is the top, which is around .48454. If we could break through that, then we'll have to start even looking at we'll have to zoom out and look at previous resistances, something like that. But that's getting a little ahead of ourselves right now. What we have to do first is break this 9 moving average on the weekly time frame. Boom. then we can start, dreaming a little bit bigger. But that's why I watch these Fibonacci retracement levels. So that way it gives me levels to dollar cost average back in after we have a big, huge run, something like that. So instead of just kind of hoping that it continues to go up, once we start breaking the trends, took some profits and then started getting back into Dogecoin because I do like Dogecoin. I don't want to be out of the game too much. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's go back to that daily time frame. But I really like that we broke that falling wedge pattern going up, like I've been talking about in the last couple videos. We might have to go sideways, so that way the weekly time frame can come down and we can break through it going sideways, as opposed to us having to kind of come up. Let's go back. Sorry, I'm trying to delete these lines. Let me delete these lines real quick. Boom and boom. Okay, so like I was saying, I want to see it come down and break through it going sideways, as opposed to us having to come up, touch it, and then we get kind of this thing going where it's acting as resistance again, as opposed to it coming down and us kind of like easing into it, breaking through it, going sideways like that. Because that's kind of what happened over here, where we were coming, like it was above us, and then we kind of just like eased into it right there. That's when we really we're able to kind of take off on the weekly time frame. So that's one of the big things that I'm watching, is the weekly time frame, and that's probably why I haven't been making videos as much. Plus, no one likes it when the market's going down. The market seems to be bouncing up right now. Maybe things will start popping off on these videos again. And give me more motivation to continue making them, which is, I don't know. And I've also been, juggling sleeping versus making a video. So I've been a little, having to choose on that front as well. But yeah, let's see what happens. One of the big things that I'm watching is the daily time frame, falling wedge pattern. We broke that, and you can see clearly that we have a couple candles above that resistance right there. Let's see if we can keep that resistance, or if we're going to have to readjust this trend line again. And like, let's say we get resistance and come down, because that's kind of what was going on over here. We would like break the resistance going up, but then it'd like come back down, and then we'd break it. Let's see, I don't know. I just felt like we had to readjust it on this falling wedge as well until we actually really did break it decisively. So yeah, let's see if we have to go sideways or if we're really going to start taking off right now. But we are breaking it. We are breaking the daily 9 moving average. We're getting support on that daily 9 moving average, and we're breaking that resistance on the daily falling wedge pattern that we've been looking at for a while now, probably ever since like right here, the last, all these days right here. I've been kind of looking at this falling wedge pattern. I had to readjust it because it kind of, there was a trend like this, and then we broke it, and then we had resistance. And that's what I'm kind of talking about when I'm talking about readjusting the lines, because technically it did something like this. That was the original line, because we had that resistance and that resistance. We broke it going to the upside, but we got kind of rejected, so we had to readjust. That's why I'm saying I wonder if we're going to have to readjust again. Maybe something like this. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But I do like the way it's looking right now, like that, something like that. Let me know what you guys are thinking. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to go over, but I think that's about it. Basically, looks like we're doing kind of decent with breaking that resistance and getting support on that daily 9 moving average. But the weekly is the thing that we have to kind of keep an eye on and kind of stay a little skeptical about it. But like I said, my money is right here, or I've already put money right here back in this area. So it's looking kind of decent from where I put money the last time. And like I said, I have a limit order down here, but I'm getting a little less confident as we kind of bounce to the upside. Let's see what happens, though. I'm going to keep this here for now. If we really start taking off, then maybe I'll pull this one and start putting it somewhere over here. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Maybe it'll fake me out and like as usual, but you know how that goes. All right, let me know what you guys are thinking, though. If you guys liked the video, hit that thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to watch the last video, check it out right here. If you're new to trading or looking at charts in general, check out this video right here, and it'll help get you started looking at charts on TradingView. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Good luck, guys.